started like every other night. A clear desert sky, a silent telescope, a routine observation, and then something that wasn't supposed to exist came into view. A glowing green object, cutting through the blackness of space, perfectly straight, perfectly steady, and unlike anything we've ever seen before. It didn't behave like a comet. It didn't reflect light like a planet. And it definitely didn't belong here. At first, scientists thought it was a mistake. Maybe a reflection, a camera glitch, anything but this. But when the data came in, they realized they were looking at something real. Something ancient. Something foreign. The object was named 3I Atlas. And the deeper astronomers looked, the stranger it became. Because this thing, this so-called comet, wasn't just glowing on its own. It was acting like it wanted to be seen. And the craziest part? This path leads straight from the same region of space where a mysterious radio signal once came. The same one that scientists have been trying to explain for nearly 50 years. Whatever 3I Atlas is, it's not just passing through our solar system. It's making a statement. It was late evening at an observatory in Namibia, one of the clearest skies on Earth. The team had been tracking a series of faint comets near the edge of our solar system, just routine work, until one telescope picked up something unusual. At first, it looked like a faint speck moving across the darkness, but it wasn't fading or flickering like a typical comet tail. It was glowing, pulsing with a strange green light that didn't behave like reflected sunlight. Even stranger, the light seemed alive, steady, controlled. The astronomers zoomed in. No tail, no visible rotation, no ice plumes or dust trails that comets usually shed when they warm up. Just a silent green body moving in a perfectly straight line. Within hours, other observatories confirmed it. Whatever this thing was, it wasn't behaving like anything they'd ever cataloged before. They ran orbital simulations, chemical predictions, everything. The object didn't match any known comet, asteroid, or satellite trajectory. The speed, constant. Its path, unbending. Its color, an eerie, pure emerald glow that came from within. The object was quickly logged as a new discovery under the Atlas survey system, hence the name 3I Atlas. But as data came in, the name started to feel almost poetic, because this comet seemed to be watching us. Every time scientists looked closer, they found something that broke another rule of physics. And as the data deepened, one question began to echo across observatories around the world. If it's not a comet, then what is it? The answer, or at least the first clue, came from its color. A haunting green glow that made no sense at all. In astronomy, color means chemistry. When an object glows green in space, scientists know exactly what that means. It's the result of diatomic carbon, or C2 molecules, reacting to sunlight. Comets rich in this carbon compound release gas as they approach the sun, and ultraviolet radiation turns it that bright emerald color. It's rare, but it happens. Except this time it didn't. When researchers broke down the light spectrum from 3I Atlas, what they found made zero sense. No carbon chains, no organic molecules, none of the chemical fingerprints that could explain its glow. So, if it wasn't sunlight reacting with carbon, where was that light coming from? Some astronomers speculated it could be ionized gases, maybe charged oxygen or nickel vapor. Others suggested an internal energy source, something heating the object from the inside. But that opened another mystery. How does a cold interstellar body generate energy on its own? It was as if the object wasn't reflecting light, it was producing it. And in deep space, that's not just strange, that's unheard of. The glow was so consistent, some even thought it might be artificial, a beacon, or a signal meant to be seen from a distance. But scientists dismissed that as conspiracy talk. At least they did, until the next discovery made that theory a lot harder to ignore. Because when astronomers analyzed what the object was made of, they realized this wasn't a comet at all. It was something far more complex. When the chemical readings from 3I Atlas came back, scientists expected the usual mix: frozen water, dust, maybe some carbon dioxide. But what they found instead left everyone speechless. This object wasn't made mostly of ice like a normal comet. It was loaded with nickel, iron, and carbon dioxide, an odd metallic combination that shouldn't exist naturally in that ratio. Even stranger, the levels of nickel were off the charts, almost like it was built from refined metal, not formed by nature. That's when theories started to spiral. Some suggested it could be a fragment of a dead planet's core, something blasted off in an ancient explosion and drifting through space. Others whispered about something else entirely. What if it was a probe? After all, nickel and iron are perfect for protecting an object from radiation. And that glowing green color? It could be the result of controlled energy, a heat signature, or even propulsion. Of course, no one wanted to say that out loud. Not in a scientific paper. Not yet. But the strangest part wasn't its composition, it was its behavior. Because while normal comets tumble and spin chaotically through space, 3I Atlas didn't move at all. No spin, no drift, no change in direction. Just a silent, unwavering path, like it was following coordinates. That's not natural, not even close. And when astronomers plotted its trajectory, things went from strange to impossible. Because 3I Atlas wasn't just moving, it was aiming. Every comet ever recorded drifts through space like a leaf in the wind, pulled, twisted, and tossed around by the invisible tug of gravity. But 3I Atlas? It didn't care about gravity. It moved as if the laws of physics didn't apply. Astronomers tracked its path for weeks. No acceleration, no deceleration, no deviation. It wasn't being pushed by solar radiation. It was just moving, in a straight line, at a constant speed, through every gravitational pull in its path, like it knew exactly where it was going. At first, scientists thought it might be a coincidence. Maybe it was just passing through the solar plane. But when they extended its trajectory backward, something shocking appeared. Its origin point traced directly to a small, silent region of space in the constellation Sagittarius. The same direction where, decades ago, a strange radio signal was detected. That signal, lasting just 72 seconds, has haunted astronomers for nearly half a century. They called it the wow signal because when the data first came in, that's exactly what the astronomer wrote in the margin. Wow. For years, people argued about what caused it. A star, a pulsar, maybe even alien communication. But now, with 3I Atlas coming from that same direction, scientists couldn't help but ask the question out loud. What if the signal wasn't just a random transmission, but a message telling us something was coming? Because when astronomers compared the timing of that signal to the path of this object, the pattern was undeniable, and the implications were terrifying. Back in 1977, a radio telescope at Ohio State University picked up something no one had ever heard before, a narrowband transmission lasting just 72 seconds. It was strong, it was focused, and it came from deep space. The signal matched 1420 megahertz, the natural emission frequency of hydrogen, the most common element in the universe. Scientists had long speculated that if any intelligent civilization tried to communicate, they'd use that frequency, because hydrogen is everywhere and it's universal. So when that signal appeared, clean and powerful, from the direction of Sagittarius, astronomers didn't know what to think. It wasn't random static. It wasn't a satellite. And it never repeated. They called it the wow signal, because when Dr. Jerry Emmons circled it on the printout, all he could write next to it was one word, wow. For nearly 50 years, no one's been able to explain it. No planet, no pulsar, no echo. Just silence. Until now, when astronomers traced the path of 3I Atlas, they realized something chilling. Its origin lined up almost perfectly with the same region of space where the wow signal came from. Coincidence? Maybe, but the math doesn't lie. If the object had been traveling for decades, it would have left that region around the same time the signal reached Earth. It's almost poetic, like the signal was a knock on the door, and 3I Atlas is what came after. Even the skeptics couldn't ignore it, because out of millions of possible directions in space, the odds of that alignment happening by chance were astronomically small. And that left everyone wondering the same thing. Was the wow signal a greeting or a warning? As theories started to spiral, scientists raced to understand, what exactly is this object? A rock? A relic? Or a message from something far beyond our understanding? As data from 3I Atlas continued to stream in, the world of astronomy split in two. Half the experts said it was just another comet, rare, yes, but natural. The other half weren't so sure, because nothing about it fit. The shape was too perfect. The path was too steady. The glow too consistent, as if being powered rather than reflected. Some suggested it could be a derelict probe, something ancient, launched by a civilization long gone. A machine built to drift silently through the galaxy, collecting information until it found us. Others proposed a natural explanation. Maybe a metallic fragment from a dead star, polished smooth by millions of years in interstellar space. But even that theory couldn't explain the green energy pulse recorded every few hours. A rhythm so precise it almost felt deliberate. Radio telescopes began listening again, tuning in to the same frequency that once carried the WOW signal. So far, silence. No response. Just that faint green light glowing against the black. But silence doesn't mean nothing. Sometimes the universe speaks in ways we don't yet understand. And maybe, just maybe, this is one of those moments. Because whether 3I Atlas is a lost relic, a traveler, or something even more extraordinary, it reminds us of one truth that no science can disprove. We're not the center of the universe. We're just beginning to notice what's been out there all along. So as this strange green object continues its silent journey through the stars, one question lingers. If it's not a comet, and not an accident, then what is it trying to tell us? Today, 3I Atlas continues its silent journey, cutting across the darkness with a glow that refuses to fade. No one knows what it truly is. A comet? A fragment from another world? Or a piece of technology older than humanity itself? Every telescope that tracks it raises more questions than answers. Its light never flickers, the speed never changes, and its path leads deeper into our solar system, toward the inner planets. If it were natural, it should have already started to drift, but it hasn't. It's moving with purpose, like something that knows exactly where it's going. Maybe the WOW signal wasn't an accident. Maybe it was a message that said, "We're coming." And if that's true, then 3I Atlas isn't a comet passing through our sky. It's a visitor, a reminder that we are part of something much bigger, a universe filled with stories we haven't begun to understand. So the next time you look up and see that faint green light moving across the stars, remember, somewhere out there, something might be looking back. This is Infinity Explorer. If you're as fascinated by the mysteries of our universe as we are, make sure to stay curious, stay watching, and never stop exploring the infinite.